Hey, welcome back. In this video I want to speak about watering and specifically summer watering. I follow three different watering schemes. One is the standard one that I mentioned in several videos. The other is winter watering, and the difference there is that you may have the core dry but the surface still humid simply because of the higher humidity and less evaporation rate. Now, summer watering is different in the sense that you may have a plant that shut down and it's not evapotranspirating sufficiently but may still suffer from the heat. So we have not quite a heat wave here. It's only 30 degrees today, but if I look at the surface of many of my plants, it's still relatively humid from the morning. Some are dry. This is dry. This one is relatively humid, 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 humid. So in many cases what I will do is when it's humid I will still water, but I will water the foliage, and this is to cool down the plant rather than water the pot in the case where the plants are humid. So let me show you in detail a few cases. This one is dry. This one is slightly drying, but you can still see here the different color of substrate that is dry and humid. This Japanese red pine is fairly dry. The ume here, the moss is fairly humid, 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 dry. So I can guess from looking at the surface, and I don't really need to touch most of my trees which state they are: humid, dry, humid, dry. And it's important to water them accordingly. So I would now in summer water the benches and water the trees that are dry for sure. This is the second watering of the day. The first one was a standard one where I also have diluted organic fertilizer on distributed very dilutedly through the dosatron. But now it's the second watering of the day, and I'll use only water and only on the trees that on the pot on the trees that are dry, but everywhere in general. And this is only in summer. Other times of the year I do not water the foliage at all, simply because they don't need it, and it's only an invitation for fungal issues and algae to grow on the trunk. So if I take here my wand, I'll water this one. I'll water this one because it's partially humid, and I will also water the foliage. So I will water also the foliage on those that don't need water in the pot, and that is to cool down the trees. If some water falls on the pot, it's okay. This one I can tell from the pot that it's dry, so this will be thoroughly watered. And in addition, the foliage only, foliage only. This juniper seems it is dry. The maples, I can see from the color of the substrate that they are humid. This one we mentioned that it was dry. This one was wet. This one was dry, wet, dry, 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 wet. So I hope this gives you an idea of the importance of knowing when the roots need water and when the overall plant needs the temperature to be lowered a bit to manage the heat. If you have benches that retain some water, like mine are made of wood, it's a good idea to water them. And this is the only time of the year and the only condition in which I water the foliage of my plants. Otherwise, it's only the roots. So in the morning tomorrow, I will water thoroughly the roots. But if the heat continues and I need to do a second watering in the afternoon, I will water uh, the foliage everywhere, but the pots only on those that need, as is the standard way of doing it. So I hope this gives you some more ideas of how to deal with the heat. Stay safe. Until the next one. Bye bye for now.